Server makers often have to put a lot of work into making their server the best it can be. Creating even a decent server icon can be a hassle. Headers require lots of practice to make. Even finding the right fonts, colours, or words for naming rows can be a challenge. As someone who has developed a server for their YouTube audience for almost 6 years, I can tell you that I'm still learning and improving day by day. For example, it's taken me a while to crack role icons, but with this new download, I think I finally have them nailed. Alright, so I'm here to introduce you to my server making assets pack, and I'm making this video not as a product placement, more as a guide of how to use a product if you've downloaded it, and if you haven't, then maybe encourage you to get it, because there is a free option available, and I haven't made like 2% of the product free and then the rest you have to pay for. I've done, I'd say, an even split. So the basic tier, which is the free one, that gives you all the essentials for free, and then there's a super option, and that super option is a paid option. It currently goes for $15, and it gives you all of what's in the free tier, plus a lot more, like server banner templates, which can also be used as invite backgrounds, pre-made headers, role icons, and way more emojis than the normal pack. And by the way, I'm constantly updating this pack. Now, the files I'm going to extract today, this version is currently a work in progress. So I'm going to give you a quick tour today so you can see how to extract the files, which I know you can do on iOS. You just press it in your files and it will convert it into a folder. And I'm going to be doing this on Windows 11. And I'm going to show you how to edit the header template, for example. So let's get on with it. Oh, by the way, this product/download is available on my Gumroad page. Now, I have a link in the description for that. And as you can see on this page here, it gives you a breakdown of exactly what's in this pack. And I'm going to be using the super version for this example, but I'm going to make it clear exactly what's in super and what is in the free version so you don't get confused. And if you do, there's always a breakdown here on my Gumroad page. Now, this is most likely going to be out of date by the time I even post this video, so I wouldn't use this as a guide now. I go to the product page and look at this whenever you want to, so you get the full up-to-date version of it. And it gives you a breakdown down here, what's in the pack. Now, I'm going to show you how to download it. You might not know which version you want at the moment. Let's say when you're done watching this video, you want the basic version. All you have to do is name a fair price, so logically you put 0 here because it's free, but you can put whatever you want. But if you want the paid version, don't just put 15 here. I've had a customer do this and I've had to basically assign them to the correct version because what they've done is put 15 here and said, I want this. What you have to do first is select the super version if that's what you want. So make sure you don't select basic and put 15 expecting to automatically get super, because that's not how it works. You need to click this one first. And once you've selected the right one, I want this. By the way, thank you for all the downloads so far. Really appreciate it. So let's just click I want this. It will take you to a page that looks similar to this. And you can put a discount code in here. You can get 10% off if you use a code in my Discord server. And you'll want to put your email address here. So this will be where the download gets sent. Make sure you read the terms and conditions first. It's just a quick user agreement here. Just saying this product is not affiliated with or sponsored by Discord. I want to make that very clear. This is not an official Discord resource. This is simply my own creation. I made it as a way to help you guys out with your server making journey. Please do not consider for 1 second that I work for Discord or anything, because I do not. This is simply a fan creation. And if you're planning to download or buy this pack, please assure that you are not going to claim any item here as your own creation. Even if you've read it in this video, I recommend clicking it again just in case I update it or anything. And another checkbox here, I understand that I'm purchasing the correct option, just so you don't select the basic tier, expecting to get everything that's in the super version. Country, I don't know if that matters, but there you go. And then you click pay. And once you've done that, you should get an email, and you can click a button that says level up your server or something like that. And it will take you to the download page where you can download this product. And when I release an update, if you go back to that email and click the same button again, you should get taken to the exact same download page, but it should have the new version on it. And by the way, if you get the super version and I release an update, you'll get the new one for free. I won't charge you extra for a new update. So if you want an update, you'll have to download the pack again. And once you've got the download, it should look something like this. Server making assets pack, the 1 point something, whatever version it is, and it should say which tier you have here, basic or super. Now first, what you're going to want to do is right click this, click extract all. You might need to show more options, or do something like extract here or extract files. You might need WinRAR, 7-zip or something like that, but you shouldn't need it on Windows 11. So extract all, and you can say where you want the folder to be extracted to, and show extracted files when complete, and then extract. There you go, server making assets pack v1.2 super. Going to want to open that, double click. So in this first folder, you have an intro to the pack and disclaimers. First, I'm going to go over the file types. So there's a PNG for each image, and there's also a PDF if you prefer to read it that way, but they should be exactly identical. But the meat of what's in this pack is in the server making assets pack folder. So let's go in that. And what you've seen here, some of it may be in a super version like server banners or invite backgrounds. So if you've got the basic, it might look a bit different to this. But let's go over the first one. So we're going to sort by name. We're going to go in that order. Colors. So in here you get 3 folders: gradients, invisible colors, and role colors. So in gradients, you have 2 documents here. Here's a list of gradients, And here are the color codes here. This color over here is on the left and this color here is on the right. And these gradients are good for making server artwork like headers or a server icon. So yeah, that's the gradients and invisible colors. And this will give you a bunch of different colors based on the Discord UI. And you've got a bunch of different colors here, not just for role dividers or invisible banners, but also for making invisible embeds. Well, not technically invisible embeds, but making the color strip invisible. So yeah, there's quite a few in there. And this one here, role colors. This will basically give you a bunch of colors that I like to use for roles. I mean, I may not exactly use these exact role colors, but if I were to make a role, I'd make it something like what you see here. You might be wondering why I have this in the pack. Basically, a lot of people have asked me before how I make my role colors, like how I come up with the role colors. It's not really rocket science, so I decided to put this in the pack anyway in case you want that. So that's it for the colors. Now, next up, emoji. Right, the first one is dividers. Here we have a bunch of lines basically in different colors. Now, most of these emojis will be available in 12 colors. There's the exact same colors. Now, if I zoom in, it has like a weird gradient here, but that's just this photo view. This should be a solid yellow line right here. Now, if you're wondering how they work, if I go on my Discord server, now you can see here, I've got this like purple line here. These are basically dividers. I'm not sure if I've actually ever seen anyone use these before, unless I remember incorrectly. But these basically help you divide different sections of an embed, or just a normal message. It doesn't have to be in an embed. It adds some nice color to it. And basically how these work is, if I highlight here, this is like a single emoji here, and if you just link them up, basically you just want to paste in this emoji a dozen times and it will form a line if you connect them without spaces. But if you don't want these vibrant colors here, there's also 3 colors over here. This one here is like a dark gray, this one here is a light gray, and this one here is probably the most subtle. It's the closest to an embed. Obviously that's dependent on what device you're viewing it on. Again, the weird like inner shadow or whatever is just this photo viewer. It doesn't actually look like that. It's just a solid color. Yeah, and in some of these folders you may see some guides. So it gives you a breakdown here. As I was saying, these are basically sequential emojis used to form a line. This basically breaks down what dividers are and how to use them. Now if we go back out, let's go to invisible space. There's a whole guide for this invisible character. It's actually 1 pixel. It's good for indenting text because you can use invisible characters for that kind of thing. But on my iPhone, for example, these invisible characters for some reason just disappear. So all indentation you may expect to see in an embed just doesn't work. So it kind of messes up depending on what device you're on. But the empty emoji, everyone's going to be able to see it. Well, obviously they're not going to be able to see it because it's invisible, but it will indent embeds for everyone. So that's just more of like a tweak. Now, lists. So the first one here, bullets. Most of these are exclusive to the paid super version. If I say paid option or super, that's the same thing. Paid version is called super. Now in the basic pack, you will have access to these 12 here. It's just one style. This is like a round bullet point, available in those 12 colors that you saw with the dividers, the exact same colors. But in the super version, you have access to all these. You have access to information bullet points, you have access to lettered bullet points, and you have numbered bullet points and all that, and different shapes and like arrows and all that. So at the moment, there is 252 emojis in here. Most of these emojis are the same, just different shapes and different colors. And sub entries, these are also technically bullet points. I wasn't sure what to call them because I don't think they actually have a name. In the basic version, you'll have access to these 12 here. Same shape, style, just 12 different colors. And in the super version, you have access to all these different variations of it, like dotted lines, curved lines, or whatever. Now, if I open this guide over here, this is exactly what I like to call sub entries. And I actually paired this in with the empty emoji. So right here where my mouse is, there's an empty emoji that indents this a bit further. So it basically expands on the bullet point is what I like to think of sub entries. Now, the final set of emojis, responses and others. Currently there's 30 in here, so you can use these to react to stuff, like maybe for a feedback channel. If you like someone's suggestion, you can put a thumbs up right here, or a down arrow, whatever, like yes and all that. You can use these like in embeds or announcements or just normal messages. It says new, like for a new announcement or something, a new channel, whatever. So it's got a bunch of different ones in here. So responses are like these ones here, like the cross, the chat mark and all that. And some of these emojis here are specifically made for the server maker, only for the server owner to use, or admins or whatever, like to make announcement messages. But some of these are off the users as well. But this pack is tailored to the server makers. So that's why there's some emojis in here that a standard member would not actually need to use. Now, you can see here there's a subtle outline. If you're on dark mode and on desktop, you won't see this outline. But basically it's designed for if you're on light theme, then the outline will basically separate it from the background because it may be hard to see, like with this star emoji here. It's obviously a white star. So you wouldn't be able to see that on light mode. But because there's a subtle outline to it, you'll be able to see it on light mode all fine. You probably can't see on this video because it's very subtle. But on desktop dark mode, you won't see the outline. So that's it for emojis. So in here, fonts. Here I give you a bunch of different font recommendations. Currently it's 16. So basically fonts I use for server artwork and stuff like that, server logos. Because it's not always easy to find the right font. But because I've made thumbnails for my videos and all that kind of stuff for years now, I've got a good collection of fonts that I like to use. So that's why I've got that here. A lot of people ask me what fonts I use in my thumbnails or server artwork, so that's there for that. And bear in mind, some fonts may be licensed, so I might not be able to show them in here. And I cannot provide downloads because of legal reasons. I cannot put downloads to these fonts in this folder. But there's a bunch of recommendations in there. Now, headers. So in here, there's a header template in here. I'm going to get and edit that, but I'm going to show you what it looks like quickly when you've edited it. If you don't know what headers are, I have a video on that, but I'm going to open this header template here, so I'm going to show you exactly how to edit it. As you can see, this is a PSD, so you won't need Photoshop. You'll just need something that can open PSDs and can edit them. But I'm going to be using Photoshop for this. This is what this has been designed for. And in here, there's a bunch of pre-made headers as well. These are exclusive to the super option. The template itself is in the basic version, so you only need that if you want to get the template. Obviously, you can get it in a super version as well. These are generic, so it won't have like a server name, so anyone can use these. Enjoy your stay. For the welcome channel / information channel, whatever. If you don't want to say welcome, then I've also got ones that literally say server info right here. So an introduction to the server. So if you cannot edit the PSD here, then the pre-made headers have got you covered, but you'll need a super version for that. And even if you can edit PSDs, you may still want the pre-made headers here, just so you don't have to do the work. So let's open the header template. Already got Photoshop open, so that won't take long to open. So here we are in the PSD. So I'm going to enable the background for now. This says hide on export. This is just like a preview here, so you can see what it would look like on Discord. If you want to see what it looks like on light mode, you can just disable that layer there. And as you can see, there's an outline here. It may not look so good on the video because of compression and all that, but there's an outline here so you can see it on light mode, because if I get rid of that stroke, you cannot see the subtext at all. Let's see exactly how this works. So main text, put whatever you want here. So I'm going to put Nexus, for example. Let's say my server's called Nexus, and the subtext, you just want to click that with the text tool, or you can double click the icon over here, and I'm going to type in welcome to. So this will be for the information channel, saying welcome to the server, welcome to Nexus. And as you can see, this document is quite wide, but I made that so, for example, I've got a very short name here. But if I had a longer name like Gym Server, it should most of the time fit the text. But if it doesn't, you can always just press the C tool, the crop tool, drag it over like that. It doesn't have a drop shadow, so you don't have to worry about that getting cut off. So I'm just going to drag that over there, and there you go. And I made the background preview a bit longer than the actual document, just in case you do have to expand it. But obviously you don't want to export it with that. Now, so we're going to edit the logo. You can just get rid of the logo entirely if you don't want that. I recommend selecting the text group and dragging it over there and making the document a bit shorter. But I'm going to show you how to change that. There's actually a guide right here showing you how to change it, but I'm going to do it in video form right here. So if you're on Photoshop, what you want to do is right click the logo layer here and click replace contents. And I actually say in here, if you don't have the option, if you're not in Photoshop, that you may need to add the logo manually if you cannot find a replace image option. So I've inserted my logo here, I've replaced it. I just put this image here for an example because I can't find a better one. And as you can see, it's actually a bit smaller than the previous one. So if that happens, what you want to do is you're going to want to click this chain link here. That will basically mean you can scale the logo without affecting the layer mask. So if I click that, I'm going to drag that right there. I'm going to hold Alt so it centers. May need to hold Shift so you don't ruin the aspect ratio, but I don't need to do that personally. And I'm going to expand it. Now, as you can see, when you get to here, it does this kind of weird thing. It just stops. That's because of the layer mask. So I'm going to drag it right to there. And there you go. Now, if you don't want this layer mask, you can right click and disable layer mask. Now, because my logo is round, it will still be round. But if you have a square logo and you don't want it to have a circle crop for some reason, disable that and it will look square. Mine doesn't because it's a round icon. Oh yeah, and you can change the color of this gradient if you want. So just want to expand that, double click gradient overlay, or just right click and click blending options. You want to go to gradient overlay, and you can select whatever color you want here. And you can go to that colors folder that I put in the pack and go to gradients, and you can use one of the gradients there if you want. But I'm going to keep it how it is for now. And now once you've got everything ready, you just want to hide this background layer, and then you're going to want to export it. The way you have to do is go to File, Export as Photoshop, and go to Export As, or you can go to Save As and then change the file type to PNG. Make sure you select PNG, because if you select JPEG, you'll have a black background or something like that. You'll want this to be transparent, that's the whole point of this header. So make sure you export it as a PNG. If there's an option to like enable the alpha channel or something, you're going to want to do that. So that's the header template. Obviously save the PSD if you want to come back to it, but I recommend saving it as a new file rather than overwriting the template itself, just so you don't have to download the pack again. So anyway, that's it for headers. So in role icons, you have a bunch of different folders here. I'm actually going to go in this because this is exclusive to the super version, so I'm not going to show you what they look like, but I think they look pretty nice. They're definitely the best role icons I've ever made. I'm not saying that just to promote the product. It's actually taken me a while to get good looking role icons, but I think I've made some really good looking ones with this pack. There's about 72 or so at the time recording. There's a bunch of different variations. There's more like 46 with a bunch of variations as it is. There's a link here to a video guide. This takes you to one of my previous videos showing you how to upload role icons. Now bear in mind, you need at least level 2 in your server, level 2 server boost. If you don't have that, you won't be able to upload or even manage role icons, and to just view them in general. You won't be able to see them if you have below level 2. So there's a bunch of role icons in there for bots, like different types of bot, like minigame bots, music bots. There's hierarchy for like staff and owners and members and all that. Leveling for different level roles, basically 5, 10, 15 and all that. 2 different styles in there at the moment. And there's special here for VIPs, boosters, and one for a giveaway bot as well. This doesn't go on bot because it's actually designed as a special icon. You can use it for like a VIP. It also works for a giveaway bot if you want to use it for that. So there's all that in there. Also exclusive to the super version, server banners or invite backgrounds. These are templates right here. Okay, at the moment there's 2 styles, but in this version 1.2 there will be 4 styles. So you get some examples of what they look like in here, and you get the banner template here. And you can also change the color in here. So I'm not going to show you how to edit that, because if you know how to edit the header template, you'll know how to edit that. And note in here, these can be used as server banners, which bear in mind require boost level 2 in your server, or they can also be used as server invite backgrounds, either way. Bear in mind they'll be cropped when you upload them, of course, and invite backgrounds require level 1. So the reason I put these in the super version is because you'll need to have certain boost levels in your server, so most people probably won't be able to use these, but if you do meet your level requirements, then there you go. Now we're getting to the second to last one, server icons. So in here, you get some pre-made letters, but I'm going to get into that in a minute. So templates, you have 2 styles at the moment. I'm going to show you an example of what it looks like. So in this template, you can edit the text and all that. And there's style 2 right here, a more simple version. So again, you want to edit those in Photoshop or whatever you can edit PSDs with. But if you can't do that, or you prefer not to, then I have you covered with pre-made letters. This is also in the basic version. There's a bunch of different files here. So at the moment, there's the whole alphabet. So 26 letters available in 3 different styles, as you can see here. So that should be 78. I definitely didn't just think of 72. Now these are all grayscale, because if I have to export every single letter of the alphabet in 12 different colours, that will be 12 times 26, and I don't want to know what that is, but that will take quite a long time. I don't plan to make colour versions, but if you do want colour versions, you're going to have to edit the templates. Now the final one, Thesaurus. This is super option exclusive, so you'll need to pay for the pack to get this. So this is basically a collection of words. It might sound quite weird. Basically people previously, a lot of people, like they've asked me for how I get my role colours. They've also asked me how I name my roles. Now frankly it's just imagination, and at the moment in the update I'm working on there's about 600 words. So you most likely never run out of names for roles. So that's why I made this, just to help you with creating roles and all that. And it also helps you making server names, channel names, categories and all that. I'm going to give you a quick preview here, but I'm just going to open the raw file here, which will just be the words without any like PNG specialness to it. But here's a quick preview. So this is just a raw file with all the different words in it. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. As you can see, the scroll bar is very small because there's quite a lot in here, but these are just a small preview of the words that are in this. So there you go. So if you want that, you'll need the super version. So that's it with the server making assets pack. If you want the free version or the paid version, just head to my product page in the description below. It's on my Gumroad. And don't worry, you don't need credit card details or anything like that, unless you're getting the paid version, obviously. So if you do purchase or download this pack, I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support, and I hope it helps you level up your server. Constantly updating this pack to make it the best it can be, and to fix any issues or stuff like that with the pack, so like quality of life patches. But anyway, I've done enough talking for today. Thank you for watching, hope this video was helpful, and until next time, I will see you next time.